Hey there, and welcome to another deep dive. You sent over a really interesting summary of this Mind Power into the 21st Century book. And honestly, John Kehoe's ideas have got me thinking. He seems to connect things like quantum physics with ancient wisdom. He even uses Arnold Schwarzenegger as an example of how powerful our thoughts are in shaping our reality. So where do we even begin with all of this?
Well, it's super interesting how he ties all these different areas together, right? The main thing I get from it is this idea of the power of our subconscious. Like, he's suggesting it's way more important than we realize. It might even be responsible for those coincidences we experience, the ones that seem too perfect to be random.
Okay, so you're talking about synchronicities. Those moments when you think of someone you haven't spoken to in ages and then, bam, they call you out of the blue.
Hmm.
Is he saying those aren't just lucky coincidences? You're saying our subconscious mind is actually making them happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's implying. He connects it to this idea from quantum physics, the holographic universe. Imagine the universe as like a hologram where even the tiniest piece holds the entire image. He's saying that's how connected everything is, even our thoughts and reality. Our subconscious, with all its thoughts and feelings, could be sending out these frequencies that interact with the universe and then attract similar frequencies back to us.
So it's like we each have our own reality station that we're tuned into based on what we're thinking and believing, right?
Exactly. And if we learn to tune our subconscious to a different station, one that's all about abundance or success, whatever it is we want, then our reality might start to change to match that new frequency.
Well, okay, it's kind of a big concept to grasp.
Yeah.
How do we even go about changing those subconscious frequencies?
Well, Kehoe talks a lot about visualization and this other fascinating concept called seeding. He says that when we make these crystal clear pictures in our minds of what we want, not just seeing it, but feeling what it would be like to have it right now, we actually plant these little seeds in our subconscious.
I've heard about athletes using visualization, but do we have any real-life proof that this seeding actually works?
So Kehoe tells this story about his friends, Bill and Janet. They really wanted a specific kind of house, but everyone kept telling them it was way too expensive. They decided to try out the seeding thing. Every single day, they'd walk around their own house, but they would act like they were already living in their dream home.
So they were basically pretending they already had it, even though they were still stuck in their old
So
place.
you got it. They'd be like, wow, look at this awesome kitchen, or this backyard is perfect for parties. They were totally absorbed in the feeling of having what they wanted.
And what happened? Did they ever get their dream home?
Get this. 2 months later, they just stumbled upon the perfect house. And hold on, because this is the best part. It was totally within their budget. It was like the universe had been listening to them all along and aligned everything just right, all because they put their thoughts, their emotions, even their actions towards that goal.
That's incredible. It really makes you think we might be underestimating just how powerful our minds are.
Yeah.
But what happens when those negative thoughts pop up? How do we get rid of those?
That's where affirmations come in. Kehoe believes that when we repeatedly tell ourselves positive statements about ourselves and what we want, we can kind of reprogram our subconscious.
So instead of saying, ugh, I'm so bad at public speaking, you say something like, I am a confident and engaging speaker. Right.
You got it. It's all about shifting your focus from what you don't want to what you do want. When you constantly feed your subconscious these good vibes, these positive affirmations, you're basically rewiring your brain to believe in this new, more powerful version of yourself.
So it's like you're training your brain to see you in a whole new, more positive light.
Yeah.
But doesn't that feel kind of forced sometimes? Like you're trying to convince yourself of something you don't actually believe yet.
It can feel a bit weird at first, definitely. Think of it like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. It's all about sticking with it and really wanting to change those old beliefs deep down.
It makes me wonder if some of the most successful people in history might have used these same techniques, maybe without even realizing it, to reach their goals. And speaking of success, Kehoe also talks about something called a prosperity consciousness. What exactly does he mean by that?
It's about the beliefs we hold deep down about money and abundance. Do we think there's enough to go around for everyone? Or are we stuck in this scarcity mindset where we're always scared of not having enough and focusing on what we don't have?
So if you're always stressed about money, are you actually attracting more financial problems?
According to Kehoe, you're basically setting yourself up for that. Your thoughts and beliefs act like a magnet, pulling in more of what you focus on. So if you want to bring in abundance, you've got to cultivate that prosperity consciousness.
Yes. So how do we actually develop that prosperity consciousness? Is it as simple as just thinking positive thoughts about money?
It's more about changing your whole belief system when it comes to wealth. Kehoe talks about things like gratitude. When you focus on all the good things you already have, it can shift your perspective from feeling like you're missing things to appreciating what you do have.
So, like, instead of freaking out about bills, maybe just take a second to be thankful for having a roof over your head or food on the table.
Exactly. It's about retraining your brain to see the world through a lens of abundance, not scarcity. And you know what else plays a big role? Visualization. Just like picturing that dream home, you can visualize having all the money you need.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah.
It's like Kehoe's saying that whatever we concentrate on just grows bigger. Whether it's a dream house or a fat bank account, the more real we make it in our minds, the better our chances are of actually getting it.
That's a great way of putting it. And it goes beyond just wishing or hoping. It's about making your thoughts, your feelings, even your actions match up with what you want to achieve.
The way Kehoe connects all this to quantum physics is really interesting, you know? Like, our thoughts and beliefs are actually changing the fabric of reality. It's kind of a mind-blowing idea for someone like me who always thought of physics as, well, a bit more straightforward than that.
It is a fascinating concept, for sure. Whether we fully grasp how it all works or not, there's something really powerful about this idea that we're actively creating our reality instead of just watching it go by.
And speaking of actively creating, Kehoe talks about how important it is to pay attention to our dreams. He suggests keeping a dream journal, even if they seem totally weird at first. Why does he think dreams are so important?
He sees dreams as these secret messages from our subconscious, and they often speak in symbols. They can give us clues about our deepest fears, what we really want, even solutions to problems that we haven't been able to solve consciously.
So that old saying, sleep on it, maybe it's true.
It really could be. When we pay attention to those random pictures and feelings that come up in our dreams, we might find hidden roadblocks or even flashes of insight that can help us when we're awake.
I've totally had those moments where a dream felt like it held the answer to something I was struggling with. It's like our brains are working on things in the background all night. But how do we figure out what those dream messages mean?
It's a personal journey, but a dream journal is a great place to start. Just write down anything that stands out as soon as you wake up, even if it doesn't make sense right away. You might start to see patterns or recurring symbols over time that resonate with you.
And maybe even those crazy, nonsensical dreams are trying to tell us something important.
Exactly. And you know what else Kehoe mentions? Lucid dreaming. That's where you actually realize you're dreaming while you're in the dream.
Wait, hold on. You mean you can be in control of your dreams?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. And maybe a little scary too.
It can be a really powerful tool for getting to know yourself better, even for facing your fears or breaking through creative blocks.
You know, one thing that really hit home for me in Kehoe's book was this idea of shifting our perspective. Instead of seeing problems, we should be looking for opportunities. It's not about ignoring the tough stuff, but changing how we react to it, right?
Absolutely. Instead of letting challenges get us down, what if we approach them with a sense of wonder, a chance to explore new possibilities? Every problem has the potential to help us grow, to come up with something new, to be more creative.
So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? When we face a setback, we should be asking, what can I learn from this? Or how can this actually benefit me?
Exactly. It's all about reframing the situation, finding the silver lining in every cloud. It's a way more empowering way to deal with all the ups and downs that life throws our way.
It's like that saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. We're not pretending the lemons aren't sour. It's about finding a way to turn them into something good, something refreshing, even enjoyable.
And that brings us to another crucial point that Kehoe makes, the power of our self-image. He says that what we believe about ourselves holds a lot of weight, and those beliefs are often formed when we're young, and they can either push us forward or hold us back.
And that's where those limiting beliefs can really mess us up, isn't it? If we have a negative self-image, if we don't think we're good enough, it's going to be way harder to achieve anything, no matter how much visualizing or affirming we do.
You hit the nail on the head. Our self-image acts like a filter that colors how we see ourselves and the whole world.
It's almost like we get stuck in this little box we build for ourselves, limited by what we think we can do.
And the incredible part is we hold the key to break out of that box. Kehoe reminds us that our self-image isn't set in stone. It can change. Every time we push past our comfort zone, every time we challenge those limiting beliefs and realize we're capable of more, we start to reshape that old image and make room for a stronger, more empowered version of ourselves.
So how do we actually start changing that self-image? Is it just a matter of saying those affirmations, or is there something more to it?
Affirmations are definitely powerful, but it's also about making a conscious choice to focus on thoughts that support that new image we want to build. Think about a time you surprised yourself by achieving something you thought you couldn't do. Maybe you took a chance in your career, or finally faced a fear you'd had for a long time.
I remember being absolutely terrified of public speaking, but I had to give this presentation at work.
Hmm.
And you know what? I actually got amazing feedback.
Yeah.
It totally changed how I saw myself and what I thought I could handle.
Exactly. Those are the moments that really matter when we push past our limits and prove to ourselves that we're capable of way more than we thought. We actually start rewriting the story of our lives. And that shift in how we see ourselves can then unlock so many other areas too, even our creativity and our ability to thrive.
That connection between self-image and creativity is so interesting. I think a lot of people assume you're either born creative or you're not.
Yeah,
But Kehoe seems to have a wider definition, right?
totally. Kehoe believes creativity isn't just for artists or musicians. It's a way of thinking, a way of approaching life with curiosity and openness, always looking for possibilities where others might see roadblocks.
So someone who comes up with a brilliant marketing strategy or invents something totally new is tapping into that same creative energy as a painter or a musician.
Exactly. It all comes from the same well of imagination and ingenuity. And the best part, creativity is a skill you can develop, just like anything else.
So how do we access that creative potential inside us? Where do we even start?
Kehoe suggests things like brainstorming, mind mapping, even just giving ourselves permission to play with ideas without judging ourselves. It's about silencing that inner voice that tells us we're not good enough and letting ourselves explore new possibilities with a sense of childlike wonder.
So it's like we need to give ourselves permission to think outside the box, to color outside the lines.
Exactly. Because a lot of times those aha moments, those bursts of creative inspiration, they happen when we least expect them. When we break free from our usual way of thinking and allow ourselves to be surprised by our own potential.
This deep dive has been absolutely fascinating. John Kehoe has given us so much to think about. From the power of our subconscious to building a prosperity consciousness to realizing we can change how we see ourselves and unlock our creative potential. It's a lot to process.
It's definitely a powerful reminder that we're not just along for the ride. We're the ones creating our reality.
Absolutely. So, to everyone listening, what Kehoe concept are you going to try out? Maybe visualizing a goal, or giving affirmations a shot, or how about starting that dream journal? Let us know. It's time to unlock that mind power. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep those amazing thoughts flowing.